This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
That's probably ranks up there pretty high, all time wins. From a coaching standpoint and definitely from a program standpoint, to see our guys in there and the big thing, hard work paying off and being able to celebrate that win. You cherish those moments for sure. You don't get those opportunities all the time, so when you do, we definitely celebrate, and they did that for sure.
Pretty sound defensive performance, especially on third down. We've asked Coach Simons about it, but want to get your thoughts. I mean, what's been so critical with the third down success this defense has had?
I think that our guys, we just did a really good job in the offseason pinpointing that was a area that we needed to improve on. I think we made that a priority with the guys on the team and in the program, the guys coming in. And, we just kind of really broke it down into, specifics. It kind of sounds, kind of like a no-duh type of statement. But at the same time, just understanding the specifics of what you're going to get in third and short, third and medium, third and long, and really just honing in on that throughout the course of the week. And making sure that our guys understand exactly what to expect during those time periods.
Let's go to John Manson from the Sea of Red.
Morning, Coach. How are you today?
Good. How you doing, John?
Doing pretty good. We talked back in the summer during camp, about some of the unproven guys that you had at corner. Dabney, Maggieson, guys like that. And the true freshmen. But your room seems to really be coming on week to week. It seems like they're getting a little bit better each week and standing up through to those tests. Is that something that you're seeing as well? And what has been some of your messages to some of those guys, especially a guy like Dabney that we didn't see a lot about, last year with his hamstring injury, how much he's been able to improve or at least show improvement to us on the field?
I think our guys have done a really good job in the room just of understanding the standard that they're going to be held to. No matter who we're playing, at the end of the day, if we don't do our job on the back end, that game can get out of hand, and we could be in a position where it's our fault that we, win or lose it. And we've come to work each week, every day, just kind of embracing and accepting that more and more. For Emmanuel, for Dab, the biggest thing is just being healthy. You see him healthy, and he can play at a high level when he is healthy. And I think that he's embraced the moment. Right now everybody's playing banged up, but he's doing a really good job of just continuing to fight every day. And then Chris Maggieson, he was a young man that played for us as a freshman. We knew he had ability, and just getting him in the right spot and being at home at corner, his confidence growing every day, every week. Allowing him to put himself in positions where he's able to show his playmaking ability. And those of you from Lynchburg have seen that, before. And so I think that's the biggest thing. That's the growth from year one to year two. And when you got two guys like that are leading the group right now, everyone else is following suit as well.
Let's go back to Damian Sorrellette, who's in advance.
I asked Coach Batoon about this, but how has the secondary? You look at the cornerbacks, the safeties. What's been a key for the dynamic of those two grooms to really play in sync this year? You have one of the better pass defenses in the nation. You guys have seemed to be in the right spots at the right times when your technique is right. How has the development of this room allowed this group in a year and a half to now be a strength of this team?
Well, I think it starts with things that we have to do as coaches first and foremost. And with Corey coming in, it was a immediate need and thought process of ours that, all right, we need to know who each other is. We need to understand, how we think from a coaching standpoint and getting to know one another in that regard. And I think that's kind of we've been able to pass that on to our guys. We spend some time in individual and post-practice time, pre-practice time, just kind of going over things that we do, whether it be a weekly adjustment, whether it be, just a part of our defense, and making sure that we're all on the same page. Right now, it's been better on that end than on the latter of us not being in sync. But there's still some times where we got to tighten things up and make sure we're on the same page. But when we're playing together, when we understand the nuances of the defense, I think that's just, again, a testament to being year 2 as opposed to being year 1.
John, go ahead.
Coach, I'd like to get your thoughts on Quentin Reese. He's a young guy that got in there his first game against Western Kentucky, played a lot of snaps, got the start, and he looks like now you guys are finding a spot for him, kind of in passing situations in the nickel position. Is that a spot you guys think that kind of fits his skills right now as far as being able to cover a slot guy?
Well, I think that the biggest thing for Quentin is his ability that he showed in camp and that he showed early on to really be able to pick up what we do defensively and execute it. Coming in as a freshman, that's the first thing. Just everything slowing down and you being able to actually understand what we're asking you to do. Him being able to do that and show that he has the ability allows him to play fast. So now that gives you another weapon, So in those situations where it's third down or where there are certain times that we have coverages called that fit his skill set, we want him out there. We want to put him in position where he can not only challenge that play, but put us and put himself in position to make plays. And so I think that's specific. Not specific. I think that's important that you find a specific role for those young guys, just a niche role that they can maybe one really hone in on, but two will allow them to grow in what we do as an overall defense.
Let's go back to Damian.
Coach Simon said this a few weeks ago. There's a little friendly ribbon within the coaching staff. His group led in interceptions after the North Alabama game. And Coach Batoon, his group got 2 interceptions against ULM, and then your group finally got its first interception against Syracuse. And how close are we seeing that your group's going to start producing in that way and getting more interceptions and being that group where you can kind of come in Sundays or Mondays with your chest a little poked out, saying my group is we're leading the team in interceptions now.
Well, we hope that that's contagious, right? Over the past 3 weeks, that's what it's looked like. But it really just boils down to making sure that you're executing what we're asking you to do technique-wise, putting yourself in a position. Chris did that on that play and made a heck of a catch. You know what I mean? It wasn't one that's going to come right to you, and kind of be a gimme. He had to really go get it. We were able to see his skills in pass as a receiver when he was in high school, and him being able to lay out and get that. But I do think that it's a healthy competition on our defense. That starts in the summer. We keep track of turnovers and takeaways when we're in camp, when we're in spring. And we got a board in everybody's room, and we update it with, everyone at each position and who's leading it. And for us as corners and defensive backs, we always want to be at the top of that list. So we can at least right now have bragging rights for this week that he had the most impressive one up to this point. But it's about trying to go get the ball, and it's always about that for us.
Coach, would you say it's more about the preparation, putting yourself in the position to make the play, or just the God-given ability to go do it?
That's the thing about the cornerback spot. There are going to be times where we're going to be able to pick up things that we see just in film study, things that offenses do that's kind of there, what they hang their hat on. But at the end of the day, man, you also got to have some ability in that room. You don't get in that room by accident. Part of it has to be your ability to be physical, to be fast, to be fearless. And when we talk about that fearless part of it, we're talking about being able to make the play when the light is on you, because it always is on that outside. So, we got to make sure we get the right guys in that room that rise to that occasion as well. It's not just things that I can do from a coaching standpoint. Believe that.
All right, we'll take a couple more. John, go ahead.
Coach, what about the challenge you guys have this weekend going up against a quarterback with the skill set of Jack Abraham that Southern Miss has? Would you say this is one of the toughest challenges, or maybe the toughest challenge that your room has had so far this season?
I definitely would say that this is our toughest challenge to this point. You're talking about not only a quarterback who's he just kind of got that moxie, that winner's mentality when he's on the field. The way he moves, the way he delivers the ball, the way he calls the offense. You can just kind of see that. It stands out on film. But the receiving room that he's throwing the ball to is probably the most complete room that we've seen up to this point. The Brownlee kid is a big kid on the outside, physical, and they use him in a lot of different ways. The Tim Jones kid, we would imagine, will be back coming off of injury, and he's one of the more dynamic young men that we've seen. And then everyone else kind of even follows suit throughout. And so for us, we started to attack that early yesterday, just looking at, what are we going to see from that group? What are we seeing from Abraham at quarterback? And we really know that we got to strap it up, be ready to go throughout this week to meet the challenge that's ahead of us on Saturday. But trust, we're excited about it now, for sure.
Last one, Damian, go ahead.
John kind of stole my thunder there. I was going to ask about the wide receiver room, and it seems like Abraham has targeted those three wide receivers you brought up quite a bit. I believe, 40-some odd catches between the three of them out of the 80-some, completions this year. What about them stands out, and are they comparable to any other receivers that you guys have faced this year?
Comparable, I would say similar to FIU. I thought that they had some guys that physically fit the mold as far as top end receivers. You know what I mean? Speed, physicality, body, all of those things. But I think this group is, like I said, even more complete because those guys were early in the season, kind of unproven, whereas these guys have had, 3 or so games under their belt, 4 games under their belt, and they're in a position where you kind of see them execute all throughout different phases of the game, whether that be in the open field, in the red zone, third downs. I think the thing that stands out to me the most is just their physicality as far as going up and attacking the ball. They do a really good job of that. Strong hands when they do possess the ball, and then their yards after catch guys. And so for us, it's going to be about meeting that challenge head on. The positive of it is again, like I always say, and I don't know that I can belabor the point enough that what we see on the daily is very similar to that. We see the physicality in our receivers, them going up and challenging balls, the 50-50 balls that we get from our offense. So I think we'll be well prepared when Saturday comes.